question I really, I suppose, which troubles this committee is the administration of justice already being damaged by the state of the forensic science market?
Yes, to a degree. There are cases that I have tried in which the verdicts have been, I think, surprising, and I think it has been because the jury have wanted scientific evidence and have not been given it, and when they've not been given it, they have taken the way out of saying, well, that's what would have made me sure, it's not there, so I'm not, even though one might have thought the other evidence was sufficiently strong.
So I have recently conducted a number of double jeopardy cases where science has been used to discover new evidence that allows a previously acquitted defendant, usually charged with murder, to be prosecuted a second time. And the effort put into those cases by forensic scientists has been nothing short of outstanding. In one such case, we had a lot of trouble finding an expert who could speak about science in the 1990s who was prepared to assist the defence. And it was only by making an unusual order requiring such an expert to be instructed, not quite irrespective of cost, but not at the rates that otherwise would have been paid, that I felt that that acquitted defendant had the chance to challenge the evidence that was being brought by new scientists. So in certain cases, there will be no shortage of forensic effort, and we have some of the best forensic scientists there are. But I have asked the question, how many forensic cases were not solved because of the investigation at Salisbury? Because of the amount of scientific expertise that was put into that investigation.
So if I might ask you a second question in that case, do you think that the danger then may lie in what would be regarded as slightly less serious offences, therefore not requiring that degree of
not necessarily less serious compared to the woes that I've just mentioned,
yes,
but still serious.
Yes, so, exactly. But not so outstanding that
if I could give an example of the point that Lord Hughes made, I grew up doing illegitimacy cases. Now, DNA testing has killed that work entirely. The answer is just there to be had without litigation of any sort. So there's enormous scope for not only proving who did, but who didn't do whatever it is you're looking at.
And you can see it in criminal cases. It does start with cases which might be regarded as less serious, although one must always take the point, once they get to the Crown Court, they are serious cases. But burglary, we used to have huge numbers of burglary before the courts, which were solved by fingerprint evidence. Now, very rarely is fingerprint evidence collected and comparisons made. It's just not done as a matter of routine anymore. And so you start at that level, but as the funding starts to decrease, then the more and more serious crimes are starting to be affected by it.
There's no doubt that the talent is there, and it isn't only the kind of case that Sir Brown has talked about. Sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes an advance in science will demonstrate that a conviction many years ago, which looked as if it was all right,
unsound,
was positively wrong sometimes. DNA has the almost unique ability to exonerate people completely. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes.